the deduction will be correct either way, whether it's left or right or whatever, but just to have it in some sort of sync with the drawing itself. So they are your deductions applied. Again, you can have a look at that in 3D if needs be, just to allow you to see that the openings are in fact on the back walls and so forth. I'm going to turn on my length mode, and then I would need to go to my shape results and annotate and then amend if I needed to change line colors, shading, and so forth. Once you are done, you can then, obviously I could take off other rooms and apply openings on those other rooms within the same drawing screen if needs be. You then can just exit and save, and back into the calculation sheet will come your takeoff with the deductions that you'd applied. Now, if there was a case of the same OPE being applied a number of times through the drawing, you would get a factor applied here 2 times. There's two doors of the same size, or 3 windows of the same size with the factor of 3 in there as well. So that is, again, how deductions are applied. Just to recap a little bit on that, I'm just going to activate the BTOS module again and just explain that your schedule of openings is inserted by using the door, the icon with the door and the window on it on the toolbar, and that is how you go about setting up your schedule of openings, and they can be appended to at any point in time, and should there be an opening in there that you would require. And as I say, this list or schedule of openings will be available to you in all jobs at all times. So I'll just exit out again there and let that come back. Okay, and then what I want to do here is give you an example of how you would take off curve work. Now, in this example, we're going to use a PDF file, and this would go back to one of the questions that came in earlier on. How is the scale set? What I can do is, as before, just drill down behind the description I've given into the calculation sheet. I'll call this boat bow. I'm just going to amend that to boat bow 1. And as before, you activate the BTOS module at the section in Buildsoft that you want to do return your takeoff. So I'll bring that up. Again, what I'm going to do is on the status bar indicate the type of takeoff that I want to do. So in this instance, I want to do a lineal type takeoff, linear meters, and as before, line color, line thickness, and so forth. Immediately go to load my drawing, and this isn't on my list, so I can browse using this icon here, current image file. So I can click on that. I then get my browse dialog box, and I can go off wherever my drawing is. And you can see in this instance I'm using a boat, and it is a bitmap. When you use an image file that per se isn't a CAD file, i.e. doesn't have inbuilt intelligence, when you click OK and you place a tick beside the drawing that you want to show, the minute you bring up on screen a drawing that, as I say, does not contain an inbuilt scale, which all let's call them dumb image files, which would be the likes of PDFs, bitmaps, JPEGs, and any other GIFs, TIFFs, these sort of type files. This scale dialog box will pop up immediately asking you to manually set the scale. Now, the most accurate way is the top option here, to draw a single horizontal line and a single vertical line, and tell the system what the dimension of those lines are. There's a question coming in there now. Just a question that's come in there. Our zoom function tends to be a bit slow or jumpy. Does this depend on the side of the drawing loaded, or is it the computer memory issue? Generally, there's a couple of things there. One, if you're some of the CAD files can be 10, 12, 14 megabytes. So it could be a combination of that, or it could be a combination of the computer's resources. So yeah, you're on the right track there, but it can be a combination of both, really. So just to come back to the setting of the scale in the let's call them DOM images, PDFs, JPEGs, bitmaps, and so forth. You must know the length of at least 2 lines on the drawing before you can actually set the scale properly. And as I said, although BTOS only really requires it can set the scale with a single horizontal line, or a single vertical line, or a single diagonal line. The most accurate way is to take off, or to set or tell the system the length of 2 lines, one horizontal and one vertical. As you can see in this drawing, I have one dim on a horizontal there and one dim on a vertical there. So I just click OK. It says please select a horizontal line. OK. Now you could at this point use the zoom functions if needs be. I'm going to do this very quickly, and I'll just click on that line first, on that point there, and put in what the dim is on that line, and then select the vertical line, and that's just clicking on start, clicking on the end, and putting in the dim of that line. By doing that, you automatically calibrate each line that is displayed on the drawing. So it will accurately set the scale based on 2 known dimensions. So sometimes that can be quite difficult to do when you're dealing with an image file that you receive. The image file itself may not contain any visible dims on the lines. There is no easy way around that. You really have to, firstly, before you can begin using that drawing file, you would have to determine the length of 2 lines, one horizontal and one vertical, and then the system will calibrate. Now, if you wanted to perform this function on a CAD file, if you had any doubt in your mind that the scale that was set, which can happen in a CAD file, is incorrect, once you bring up the CAD file, the system will not prompt you, as it did there, to draw a horizontal and vertical line. It assumes that the scale that's in the CAD file is correct. So if you have any doubt and you want to set the scale of a CAD file and overwrite it, you can go to the Draw menu bar item, and on the Draw menu bar item, there is an option there, Scale from Measure Line. And once you activate that function, the same pop-up will come up. Draw a horizontal and vertical line, draw a horizontal line, draw a vertical line, or diagonal line. So you can force the system, even with the CAD file, to accept the measurements that you have put in from 2 known lines. And that will, as such, overwrite the scale that was embedded in the CAD file itself. So just to recap, when you're dealing with files that are not CAD files, when you bring those up using the load image option, the system will automatically prompt you to draw a horizontal and a vertical line. If you're dealing with CAD files, it will not. But if you have any doubt about the scale that's embedded, you can go to the Draw drop-down menu and activate the option by clicking on Scale from Measured Line, or Measure Line. So I've set the scale by drawing that line, and indicating the dim. What I then need to do is I need to use my zoom function to zoom in on the section of the drawing that I want to do a takeoff on. Now, I want to show here how curved work can be done. So I'm going to take off this lineal length here. So I'm just going to click on the zoom in on section of a plan, come down, click, hold, drag, let go. Now, to begin your curved takeoff, you must tell the system that that is what you're doing. And that is done on the Draw menu, draw drop-down menu, and there's an option there, curved section. If you don't select that option and you draw a curved line, every time you click on that curved line, it will return an individual dim for every click. Whereas when you turn this curved section on and you begin, which I will, now I should really be putting smaller gaps in between these, as such, like this. I'm just going to do it quickly. When you turn on the curved section option, and that's a single lineal length, so I want to stop the line at that point, so I right click. When I turn on the dimensioning, you'll see you get one dim displayed for the entire lineal length. That is what, in effect, this draw curved section function does. It assumes that when you start until you turn that off, that the line that you're drawing is required to return one lineal length. Now, if it was an area type takeoff that had one side that was curved, and I don't have something on this drawing to show you that, but what I'll do is I will, oh, by the way, I should have mentioned there undo prior to actually beginning this whole thing. And you can see I undid that line there. Simply to undo any takeoff that you've done, on the toolbar there is an icon with an arrow pointing to the left. That allows you to be able to undo what you've done. Also on the keyboard, as in with all Windows applications, you can use Control-Z, and Control-Z will undo last line. So if, as I say, just if it was an area type takeoff, and again what I'll do is I'll go to my takeoff type, and I'll change it to area, and I'll go to my draw drop-down menu and indicate that it's a curved section that I want to begin with. Again, I start my curved section, and I'm going to do this very quickly, not to waste time. And when I'm done with my curved section, I go to my draw menu and I turn off curved section. And then I continue with the remainder of the area. And then once I get to join my first point to last, I hit J. But what you'll see has happened there is that the curved section of the area still has one dim. So, and that was simply activated by when I began to draw the curved section, I just went to the draw menu and then draw curved section. And once you begin it, and then once you're at the end of the curved section, you as such turn it off. The system then knows that you are looking for one dim for that curved section. Okay, so that hopefully explains a couple of things. One, how to take off, normally quite difficult to take off work such as curved sections, how to turn it on when you need to draw a curved section, and how to turn it off once you're complete on the particular curved section. You can also do that curved section in area takeoff, lineal takeoff, vertical takeoff, any takeoff that is available there. You can use the curved section in, and it is available on the draw down menu, curved section. And as such, you turn it on when you come to your curved section, and you turn it off when you've completed the takeoff of that curved section. Once done, you can simply return your result back out of the system and into the calculation sheet as with the other takeoff. Finally, and the last section I'm going to look at is